Okay, so by now we know how to construct the indirect truth table. So I'm not going to write out all the steps. This is going to be a unique situation, um, and I'll explain that in a second. So I'm going to rewrite the stacked argument horizontally along this line here using the formatting of slash marks between the premises and double slash mark between the premises and conclusion. So premise one is if it's not the case A, then B. Premise two, if B, then A. Premise three, if A, then not B. And here's the conclusion, which is a conjunction A and not B. There's a couple of things to point out here with this argument. You'll notice that it just has two atomic sentences, A and B. They're part of different types of statements with conditionals, negated antecedents, negated consequences, and the conclusion being a conjunction. But there's just two atomic statements, A and B. The other thing that's worth pointing out is that our conclusion here is different than the conclusions we've worked with in the previous examples. Those conclusions were conditionals, and those conditionals are false under only one set of conditions. That is when the antecedent is true and the consequent false. Here in our conclusion, we've got a conjunction. A conjunction is true only when both conjuncts, both sides of the ampersand are true. That means that there's three cases where the conjunction is false. So let's write those in, showing that the conclusion is false. So in one case, it would be where A is true, and then the right conjunct, which is the tilde B, is false, which means B would be true. The other combination would be where A is false and tilde B is true, which would make B false. And the third case where the conjunction is false is when both conjuncts are false. In this case, tilde B would be false and B would be true. In both of these cases, all three of these cases, the conjunction of the conclusion here is false. In the first case, it would be when A is true and B is true. Second case where that conjunction would be false is when A is false and B is false. And the third combination would be where A is false and B is true. All of those combinations result in a false conclusion since it's a disjunction. What that means for us with the indirect method is that, let's say you're working with the truth values of A true and B true, as in the top row here. Let's say that you encounter a contradiction applying A is true and B is true to the truth value of the premises. And that means you can't consistently make all three premises true without encountering a contradiction. Well, does that mean that the argument is valid? No, because all we need is one set of truth conditions that could be consistently applied across the argument. So just because we found a contradiction for row 1 here, we might not encounter a contradiction for row 2. And if that's the case, that means that we are able to consistently apply the truth values such that all the premises are true and the conclusion false, which would confirm our assumption of invalidity. So let's just go ahead and work on this one and see where it leads us, right? We're looking for any time that we could plug in a set of truth values consistently across the argument and make premise 1 true, premise 2 true, premise 3 true, and the conclusion false, then we can stop. If we can consistently apply the truth values based on the assumption that the argument is invalid, then the argument is invalid. We don't need to test out the other two sets of combinations of truth values. So let's see what happens here with A being true and B being true. So let's just start with premise 3 here. Put this up here just to remind us what premises we're talking about. Okay, so for this row, we got A is true and B is true. Well, A true here, B is true over here, but that would make tilde B, the tilde, which is the main operator, false. And now we've got a true antecedent, false consequent. So we can't even get off the ground here. So yeah, the conclusion's false, but we can't make, with those truth values of A being true and B being true, we can't even make premise 3 true. So we can't consistently apply the assumption of invalidity, but we're not done, right? Just because we ran into that contradiction on the first row here, that doesn't mean the argument's valid. We got to test out the other two. So let's do it. This is where A is false and B is false. Let's see how that works out. So let's plug it in. B is false here. A is false here. But we've got tilde B, right? Tilde B is the consequent. So if B is false, tilde B is going to be true. False antecedent, true consequent. That results in a true conditional. So far, we can consistently apply the truth values to premise 3. Let's try to premise 2. Remember, we're dealing with where A is false and B is false. So A is false and B is false. We already did this row. Just keep things straight. Well, when you have a false antecedent, false consequent, that conditional is true. So far we can apply the truth values such that the argument is invalid, but we're not done. We got to do premise 1. A is false. B is false. So if A is false, that means tilde A is true, which makes the conditional false. So we can't do it. We can't apply it for row 1. We can't apply those truth values consistently under the assumption of invalidity for row 2. So let's see if we can do it for row 3. This might be the one. This is row 3 where A is, dang it, A is false and B is true. This is row 3 here. So let's try to apply those truth values to premise 1, 2, and 3. We'll start with 3. A is false. B is true. So tilde B is false, and this is a conditional, which makes that conditional true. So far so good. We can apply the assumption of invalidity to premise 3 and the conclusion. Premise 2, remember we said A is false, which is the consequent, and B is true. Uh-oh. Can't do it. We cannot consistently apply the truth values under the assumption that this is an invalid argument, which would mean the premises are all true and the conclusion false. These are the 3 possible combinations of the ways in which that conclusion, which is a conjunction, could be false. We couldn't apply it without encountering some type of a contradiction or encountering some type of situation where we couldn't make the premises all true. So since we can't consistently apply the truth values under the assumption of invalidity, and we checked all 3 possible combinations of truth values that would make the conclusion false, we just can't consistently apply those truth values, so this argument is valid. And we know it's valid because we checked all 3 possible ways that the conclusion could be false, and we could not consistently apply those to the premises and make those premises true.